sometimes wonder what I am supposed to do, but then you tell me that I'm going through what you already know. You say you tell me that you understand. I really need to know that you will pick me up every time again. I just want to thank you for your patience and love. It seems like everything you know is what I'm going through. You're always there every time I want to know that you're always there, and now I know it for sure. Every time I dream of you at night, I think that you might leave the next day and never come back. But I realize it's all a nightmare, not a dream, 'cause a dream is you, because my dream is with you. Every time I'm awake at night, I think if I can just reach out and touch your hand. And then I realize you're next to me again, and then you never leave me. You're the one I'm always gonna care for.
Well, everybody, welcome back to the Trick Podcast of Joey and Goso TV on this beautiful Friday, as I like to call them. It's almost 3 p.m. here Pacific in the Los Angeles area, Long Beach, California. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Goso TV. Goso, by the way, means joy in Spanish. And we like to say that though there is pain in the night, Goso comes in the morning. Talking today about how to make your church stream more engaging, exciting, entertaining, of course, educational. So here's the thing. I've been looking at numbers and statistics of the last 6-7 months and how churches are doing with their audiences, and the numbers are not good. Engagement is down. People's watching time is down, and kind of the newness of it all has worn off. And so now people are either pretty focused on the politics of it all and the election, or they're just maybe getting back into a normal routine where being online isn't exciting anymore, or they're just weary. They're just tired of the whole thing, and they want things to go back to normal. And what do they call that? The COVID overwhelm, or what's that other word where you get fed up with something? And so those things are beginning to happen. But how can we as church leaders or volunteers or spiritual leaders in the church, what can we do? So I want to give you a few hints, a couple of websites that I frequent that have helped me along my journey. So this is called PTZ Optics, and their second channel, they have two, it's called Stream Geeks. So I hope you can see that they're Stream Geeks, and it's hosted by these two wonderful young people, Pat and I forget her name. And so they, every week or so, they get online, and this is let's see, their subject line is, this is a Stream Geeks Basics of Live Streaming Free Online Course. This course is currently evolving, and you can submit a comment for a new topic that you would like for us to cover. So, for example, here, this one, they just did this a month ago or so. You won't hear the audio, but you can see some of the basics here. It says, what do I need to live stream? And so they go over the cameras. And so there you can see how they're using their phone. They're on Facebook Live. They talk about the encoders. I know most people these days are using Zoom. I use OBS and Ecamm. If you're on PC, maybe you use vMix or maybe some either web-based platforms like Streamlabs, or I think there's another one called I don't know what it calls, Stream Deck? No, a couple ones. And so I also use Restream, but Vimeo, of course, is something that people use. Everyone does YouTube. Depends on your audience. A lot of people, of course, go on Facebook a lot, so they stream their services on Facebook. Depending on kind of the age of or the demographic of your service. If you're younger, then you're definitely going to be more on Instagram and YouTube. If you're older, then you're going to be on Facebook. So that's vMix right there. These are the cameras that they offer, depending on your budget. NDI is something that I've used before. It's pretty awesome. They talk about internet speed. And so these are some of the basics. RTMP is how you can connect cameras, as well as you can even connect to Instagram. For example, I live stream to Instagram every week, every service, even though our audience is more adult and older, but I always think of the young person who might be tuning in. That is OBS, what he's showing. And so this is a great video. What do I need to live stream? And so I really enjoy Stream Geeks and these two young people. They're really awesome. But I wanted to show you some of the things that they just use to engage people. This is, let's see here. So for example, look at this one. This is, they went out on the street of I think they're in Pennsylvania. And so they went out just down the street. And now live streaming mobile isn't easy. I have learned how to do it from them, but it's not very easy. But Tess, that's her name. Tess, that's right. So, but imagine you figure out a way to maybe not do it live, but you set up some cameras. Let's say at the local Boys and Girls Club, or at the homeless shelter down the street from your church. Or maybe it's something that is a new business that maybe someone in your church is starting, and you want to give them an opportunity to get to know your church, or vice versa. You can set up some cameras. You don't have to use these PTZ optics. Again, these guys are from PTZ Optics, so obviously they're going to want to sell you those cameras. They're not cheap. They're about $1,000 to $3,000 each. But just think of using your phone. So don't think of the tech. Don't get stuck on that. Think of just using your phone. But the idea is pretty awesome. There they are. It's just two people. It's just Tez and Paul. And Tess is the online talent, or on-camera talent, and here she is talking about their setup. And then Paul is kind of doing the production part of things, and there she is. All these signs that you see down there, these are called lower thirds, very easy to make. They have courses on that. Of course, I can help you with all of that. Now here's Paul talking about, I'm sure, what they're doing, and look at that, they have 8 people watching, and there it is. This is the show that they actually produce for this little boutique here. And so the owner is back there in the flannel. And so you see how valuable it can be to have someone at your church who owns a business have access to your audience, and you can promote what they're doing by bringing your cameras over to their store, and you can then show that on Sunday. So that's a wonderful way to engage different people. So now let's see. Let me show you a few other things that they do besides just the usual talking head thing. This one is fun, how to sell virtual tickets. So now again, think of the setup here, the backdrop. See how fun those pillows are, that couch. There he is coming in, what they're wearing. Obviously they're young, so they're dressed young. All this is very important these days because, as I've been saying for a while, we're no longer in the church world. Now we're in the media world. And if this whole thing lasts another year, I mean, who knows, right? We have to move away from just putting a camera in front of our, quote, church service, and we have to think more media, like a media company, like a TV station. And so, see, they're here holding those microphones. They're both very engaging, attractive. I'm not saying you have to be beautiful, but, you know, they're well-dressed, they're clean, and their backdrop is fun. Those pillows, YouTube there, see some branding there. So that pillow is engaging, right? They have a laptop in front of them. Again, they are laughing and smiling, a little close-up. And here's the good news. These cameras, these PTZ optics, even though they're so expensive, they're not very smooth when it comes to zooming in, as you just saw. So you don't have to have a big budget. Look at their lighting. It's basic lighting, nothing out of this world. And so let's fast forward here. What else do they do in terms of engaging people? Besides the talking head thing, okay? So that's what you want to look for, is besides talking head. Now, as you saw there, they're doing a presentation, so that could be fun. You might want to do something like that. Here is a PIP, as they call it, picture in picture. So you have two scenes. You can have a guest, maybe, who comes in, the red cup, the logo back there, Stream Geeks. See the difference between their set and this guy's, older man's setup? See how his is boring, like an office with a printer, and just even what he's wearing, right? It's pretty boring. It's typical of, let's say, what churches do. Look at theirs. The cameras are nicer, their color schemes, their smiles. They're just more engaging. It's just night and day, right? Even the red cup, even the computers that are black. All of these things matter. Now, look on the right here. You see they have the, what do you call it? The chat. That's very important. People love to see their name, especially if someone on your team shouts out the names. Here you have Fast Eddie, Hank Lamb, you have Frank B. People love to hear their names. And so just look at the comparison. You don't want to look like this guy. You want to look like them. I mean, in terms of the set, the colors, the way they're sitting, the gear, what they're wearing. All of that is very important because, as you can just see right now, you're more drawn to the box on the left. Let's see what else they have here. So now here's Tez. Again, the same thing. The lighting is great. She's well groomed. The lower third is nice. I mean, that microphone in front of her is kind of annoying. But see, look at his setup. It's just very typical, right? Looks like church, right? It looks like boring church. You don't want to look like boring church. People will tune you out because we are living in a different world. We're in the TV land. It's nothing to do with Jesus and how he's, obviously the content is what matters, but we're in the TV land. Look at his camera. Look at the difference there. What a difference, right? His camera, you can tell it's a higher end camera. His colors, the headphones, his t-shirt, everything matches. It's made for production. Here, it's someone's office. And I don't know what that is. A microphone there in the corner. Is that his safe, or a printer, or a file cabinet and a printer on top, or I don't know what that is, a bag on top? And he himself, I mean, he's very I'm not just saying unattractive, okay? We're not all beautiful people, but just he could maybe do something to make himself look better, wear better colors, brighter colors, perhaps be in a room that is not just bland like that, and those colors are just, they don't match. He's wearing like a lavender shirt and the blue, nothing matches. Look at this, night and day, right? You want to look like Paul, not like this gentleman here. So let's see if there's anything else in this video that is worth looking at. Okay, so now let's go to another one, maybe one more of PTZ or of Stream Geeks. This is Stream Geeks on YouTube. So how much is live stream? I want to go to some of the games that they have. They sometimes have games. How to use live video to fuel inbound marketing. Okay, let's see this one. This might be a good one. So the shot here, not that good, right? That camera, you can tell, isn't that great. You have that screen in the middle. You can't really see that guy back there. Not as great. The focus isn't that great. It's obviously, this is from 2018, so from 2 years ago. They've improved, and that's what you want. You want to be improving as we get more and more into this. This is a nice look, the 3 bubbles, and then you highlight someone from your church and what they're doing. It's just a nice way. Now, how do you get all of these overlays? They show you how. We can show you how to get Trig Media. It's not that difficult. There are places where you can get this for free. You can search for that on YouTube, and it's not that difficult. Even these intros are very fun. Look at that. It's like a video game from the 80s, right? For us 80s kids, right? Shout out to Michael Jackson. You have video intros. You might be thinking, oh, that's too difficult. It's too hard. See, I like this, even their focus. It says attract. This is very nice. Let's pause it here because this is very, very important. More on the plan on how to do this. Live viewer, so think of your church, the buyer journey, but just think of the worshiper journey, starting with a live viewer. Live viewer, then he says here, attract, convert, close, delight. Isn't that great? Attract, how do you do that? Facebook Live, YouTube subscriber, Twitter follower, engage viewer. So now you have an active in chat person, engage, asking questions. So isn't that great? There's a big difference between being a live viewer of a service online at your church and actually being an engaged viewer. And then a lead. This is now someone who is in CRM, I don't know, or is that a email? I think that's someone who's now signed up to be a part of your email list, or who signed up to bring donations for the Christmas show, or someone who is volunteering to help at the food bank, or someone who wants to receive your free training on how to overcome fear in these times. So now it's someone who's gone from live viewing and just sort of trolling, as they say, to an engaged viewer who's active in the chat, who's liking things, who's asking questions. For example, for our church, we maybe have 8 people or 10, and we have maybe 2 or 3 who are engaged, and it's usually the same 2 or 3 people. So all of us need to up our game in terms of engaged viewers. Then you have to think about how do you engage these people, right? But again, so let's continue. Lead is someone who is in the actually receiving an email. They're in your communication content or system. And then a customer is someone who actually is sharing the content themselves. They are an audience member, meaning they're in your show, in your program. They're a part of your show, of your service, let's say in our case, and active. And then they're a promoter. So same thing. They're telling their friends about this amazing church, this amazing service, or these amazing people that I love so much. So this is very important, just as as a system and how to do this stuff and how to organize yourself. These marketing funnels are awesome, very, very good on how you kind of go from, if you see here on the right, how to go from attracting to converting to close to delight. I love these things because they apply to everyone, because even though we're not selling a product, cameras or whatever, we are still dealing with humans and with people. And we, especially now in the online world, and now all of us being on TV or computers or tablets or phones, we're playing by a different set of rules. And I've been watching these guys for maybe 5-6 years. All that I've learned, all that we do, not only in my church, but at Trig Media, is based on the learnings from all of these channels. Wonderful, wonderful individuals. So this is a good show. You can see kind of what they're doing and how they do it. Now, this is a really fun idea, live giveaways and Facebook user group. This idea of live giveaways is very, very strong. I think they do that in other videos where they actually have giveaways. So you may think, well, how am I going to apply that to my church? That's kind of not the point. You may not want to do a giveaway of cameras, but maybe you want to give away gift cards for Christmas. You have kids in your church, right? And they all need shoes or gifts or bikes, and we can't meet anymore. We can't do those things now live in person. What if you have a giveaway live during your service to provide the same services that you used to provide in person before? So a lot of great stuff here that they are teaching on how to engage an audience and how to make that happen. So that one is educational. But I like the ones, let me see if I can find one more, where they actually do it in person, because that's the best way to learn. So let me see here if I can, okay, how to accept donations. Okay, this is very pertinent, obviously, to churches, right? How to accept donations. And so once all this is over, here are these ads. So this is from 18. Again, see how older this looks? The cameras aren't that new. Their whole demeanor is good, but it's a little, it's you can tell it's a couple of years old. But see, now here are churches, and these are ways that you can ask. Well, they're teaching here how to ask for donations, but you could just simply have a layout like this to highlight someone who gave. You may even want to put how much they gave. Maybe it's not giving, quote unquote, to your regular service. So people don't want to obviously have everyone know how much they're giving, but maybe this is a special offering to help a family in need in Africa or another state, or maybe some people that are suffering because of this pandemic, where people are comfortable telling everyone that they gave $25. Imagine using this layout to highlight that person. So instead of having the pastor there in the middle, you have Joe. And maybe you have his wife, Mary, who gave $25 towards the Dare to Imagine food bank, or Dare to Imagine Children's at-risk foundation. And so this is a great layout to do something like that. So this is now more what his church is doing. And so this is how they're using different tools on Facebook, etc., to have people donate. So that's very informative. And so now, but I still want to find something, as I've been saying, that is just more fun per se, where they are having a good time. So why Twitch is so big? Okay, this one is voting for the 2018 Streaming Awards. So this is 2 years old again, but look at this. It looks like they're at a theater somewhere, right? This is all virtual, by the way, with a green screen. A green screen simply means that it's not real, that it's all just a behind the scenes thing. And he looks like he's standing at Staples Center, but he really isn't. He has a green screen behind him, and then that overlay, all that stuff behind him, is just a video loop. And Trig Media can help you with all of that. If your church is wanting to know how to do green screens, we provide the green screen studios. We do all the behind the scenes for you, so that you just tell us kind of what you want to do, and then we will help you with that. But isn't this fun? Maybe your Christmas, instead of having a streaming awards look, you might have your Christmas pageant, your Christmas show that you normally do this time of the year, and you have it as a green screen. And you can be up there, your kids and the shepherds and baby Jesus and all that stuff, and you can do all of these wonderful things here. And instead of having it be alive and accent and all that stuff, it can be your Christmas pageant, your Christmas outreach, your Thanksgiving dinner. It can be, maybe this backdrop can be all turkeys and Thanksgiving meals and a nice, beautiful table. Green screen is a great way to enhance your look from the typical kind of more boring look that we all are getting now bored with, to something more exciting. So now see, there he is. He's showing you a gray screen. He's using gray, but it's the same thing. They're all called green screens. Normally they're green. But let's see, look at that. There he is. That's the same exact shot, but he's using just a green screen. This one's gray, but they're called green screens. And Trig Media can help you with all that. The lighting, and we can give you a script of what to say. See how he's holding a script? That way you're not lost wondering what to say, but we can help you write a script. And there's a camera with that light. It's just a ring light. And he's just simply, there he is going live. And those are the lights that can show a little bit of the different backgrounds behind him. We have all that at Trig Media. We can help you with all of this. And it's really awesome just to see. There it is. That's the behind the scenes. Now he's going to go into the computer and show you how on the computer it all looks. It looks real. See, there it is. It's the exact same set. It's just the green screen or the gray screen, but it's the same thing. And that software that you see on the computer, Trig Media has all of that available. We're experts in this. We do this all the time, and we can help your church or your organization, your school, to do all of this and accomplish that, and to help you make this Christmas or this Thanksgiving season, this holiday season, as normal and as beautiful as can be. I love their set, the branding, the Facebook pillow, the Twitch pillow. I think Tess is going to come in here perhaps onto the set. Maybe not. And so, but see, look, the engagement, he has that headset microphone, so it sounds really nice. The questions at the bottom, very easy to do. We have different softwares that we can use for you to do your own green screen show. Ecamm, OBS are our favorite ones. That's the reality. That's how it really looks. See, it's just an office. It could be your house. It can be your apartment. And this actually is, I think, in his home. But look at how it looks. It looks so amazing through the magic of technology. Pretty awesome, right? So imagine your church doing a Christmas show, your kids that are all poor kids, all at home bottled up with Zoom, and they can't even go outside without fearing things. Imagine them being able to take off their masks. Let's just say they're all part of the same family. Wouldn't that be awesome? Let's say we as a staff wear a mask, but you as your family, you come in and we can isolate and all that stuff. And you as a family you don't have to wear a mask because you're a family, you're a unit, like they do at restaurants, right? And we can record your family doing perhaps a Christmas picture with a virtual background, with a green screen of your favorite city, your lake, your dream lake house, vacation house, your dream house in Hawaii or in Mexico or in Costa Rica or wherever you would love to be this time of the year, but we can't travel. Well, you can have that experience or that feeling through green screens. And just like what he has there, I think his producer's name is Michael, and then you have Paul there. We do the same thing. Trig Media does all of this, and we help you to create memories this time of the year for you, your church, your nonprofit, your family, etc. So very fun. So that's Stream Geeks. Let me show you a couple more. PTZ Optics is the one I was also talking about, and these are the same guys, but here they are a little bit more serious because this is like their main channel, but maybe they have a few fun ones here that could be entertaining for us. I'm always looking for entertaining things. Webcams for teachers. These days, everyone is a teacher, right? Has to be. So see, this is a fun little intro there. Show start webcams for teachers. This is super easy to do. We can do this at Trig Media. We can do all of that, what you saw there, the overlays, the colors, the intro, not difficult. Now, because of social distancing, this is, I'm sure, a teacher of sorts, and she's in her office. But look at how his setup, not that difficult, but it looks way more fun and young and, I don't know, just entertaining than hers, right? Hers is the typical office. She's wearing the glasses, the glare on her face. I mean, we're not talking about looks per se, but her hair is just kind of normal. Her color scheme and that wall back through those books, the brown, nothing engaging about this look. Look at him. He's just an average looking guy, but look at that. The colors, the black and the blue, his black t-shirt, the brick, and the simplicity of it all so that he pops out at you. Whereas her, I mean, I can't help but look at her big glasses, right? And so all of these things matter. Now you may think, oh, how vain of you. This is church. Yes, this used to be church. Now it's a media company. You're running now a TV show. I'm sorry to say or break the news to you. It's nothing that I made up or that we all chose to do, but it's the world that we live in. We have to be thinking, how do we engage? See this shot? I mean, she's obviously a teacher, but imagine if she was instead outside and kids were running around. Or just if maybe her background had ABCs around her, like a classroom. I love how when my wife was teaching, I would go to her classroom when we used to do that, and I would see her classroom and all the prettiness and the colors of a classroom, right? Especially a first grade classroom. Wouldn't that be more fun than her backdrop? It would be. And so you want to think along those lines for your church, for your scenes. How can you make each scene look engaging and fit the theme? Isn't this fun? Imagine your pastor or your teachers or your kids person using something online where she or he is drawing on the screen. It just makes it look more, I don't know, more real, more behind the scenes, less professional. Not everything has to be Disney quality. It can just be average, but it makes it fun when it's done well. This is OBS, which we teach here at Trig Media. This is our expertise. We can do all of this, all of these backdrops. This is Zoom, obviously. And so he's teaching a little bit of Zoom ideas. There's the idea of green screen. So these are ways that teachers are using green screens. And so back to his shot, very nice. That camera that you see on the right might be on, might not, but it looks nice. The lower third, the colors, not that great. They don't really match his whole scheme here, but that's something to consider. That little bubble there on the right, that looks fun. It fits the scheme of blue and white. And so you want to think, now you're saying, man, this is going to take me 30 hours. It might take you 30 hours the first couple of weeks, but then once you get into it, it's not that hard. And you can hire Trig Media. We will set up all of your lower thirds, all of your backdrops, all of your behind the scenes, all of the intros and outros and bumpers, as they call them. So that way you have a template. So every week, your volunteers can now just take the template and run with it. We will just do the setup for you. So now let me go to one more, or a couple more, I guess. There's one called Live Streaming Pros that I really love. And these guys, they will charge you $10,000, $20,000 to do what we do at Trig Media for a lot less than that. But they are amazing. I've also been following them for maybe 5-6 years. And let me show you here what they do. So this is David and Luria, and they are in the Portland area up there in Washington. And after this ad, we will see, look at the cameras. Look at the quality of the camera. See, look at that. The quality of his camera, clean look, the white glasses pop out. He's a handsome man. You don't have to be Brad Pitt. He's got a nice blue jacket thing, the gray t-shirt, but the background is so nice. It's blurred and it's got like a, what is that, a Marvel look, or it's just engaging, right? Spider-Man or Iron Man, and it just looks fun. It looks engaging. You can't take your eyes off of him. Compare that to your church stream right now. All wonderful people. They love God. They love Jesus. They don't have a lot of money, but you have to think about how do you engage people. We're not competing against anyone. God is God, and if he wants to do a miracle through your phone, he will do it. He doesn't need anything. But we are living on a media world, and from all that I hear, it's going to last another 12 months. So we have to dive into this and to get good at it, not just get comfortable or not just put up with it. We have to be amazing at it so that we can do what we do, help people follow Jesus. So yeah, his camera there, all that stuff there, he's just showing you kind of what cameras to use. This is the topic of this thing. It's called how to use, or what are the best cameras out there. So this is a talking head. They call this a talking head shot. Not a lot of movement, but he's engaging, right? And you can just write in the chat, what do you notice? Don't think of it as church. Don't judge it through church lenses. Just simply as a viewer, what is catching your eye? What is distracting you? For me, because I'm used to this world, I love his hand movement is great. His eyes are amazing. He's looking at the camera. He's not looking down. He's not, I mean, there he is. He's looking down, but see right there, he's looking right at you, right? Most people, they are not comfortable on camera. He's close to the camera. The size of his head is a great size. And he's just testing the autofocus of some of these cameras. So that's why he's doing that. But all of that matters. It's engaging to the eye, to the viewer, because most people are in their beds or in their cars or laying around. If they are, and they're swiping through a million other things. You think they're just watching your service online? Of course not. They may be watching you on their TV, but they're on their phones, on Netflix or on their Chase app or on their Amazon app. I mean, that's just the reality. Or they're not even at home. They're on the road in the car, and they just have the audio on. So they're not even watching what you're doing. So even more of a reason why you have to then be engaging and have good audio. Because if you think, well, everyone's watching, you're thinking through the lens of 2019, where people can't get up and leave your church service without feeling embarrassed. But now everyone's going to the bathroom every 30 seconds in the middle of your sermon or of the songs, because no one can see them unless they're on Zoom. And even then, they can just shut off that camera and be anonymous. So you can't be thinking that everyone's just loving everything you're saying, because people get tired and they get exhausted from the same old thing every week. So now this is something really fun that I have. It's called the Stream Deck. I have another one called X Keys. This is Luria. They are both business partners. And so same thing. Her hair, t-shirt, very attractive. I don't mean looks per se, but I mean just clean, eye contact. I mean, look, without even hearing her, right? You're engaged because of her facial expressions, because of her what she's wearing. The contrast behind her is really nice. It's blues and reds. It's not, remember the teacher with the big glasses? I mean, you can't even compare one to the other. And the lower third there, she's pressing some buttons to go back and forth. We do all of that at Trig Media. This is what we do. But look at her nails are nicely done. Now, I know Luria from watching her shows. She just did this in 20 minutes. You don't have to spend 3 hours in makeup and hair and makeup, and go have your nails be done and spend $3 million on a brand new closet. It's just thinking about all of these things ahead of time and then developing a routine to not just think, well, this is for God, and well, this is church, and well, that's how we've done it. Well, we need to, I can't even say move with the times. We really have to realize that this is a different season. We're now in the TV media world. The comments of people, see how nice those comments are? That's a program that we use here at Trig Media called Ecamm. We can produce your service, your show for your nonprofit, for whatever you're doing. You're trying to get, everyone's trying to get attention for your nonprofit, for your cooking class, for your yoga studio, for your teaching skill. You're starting a new business, or you're at church. We're all doing the same thing. But look at the engagement here. Just look at even her dancing there, the countdown. Everything about this is, it's saying engagement, entertainment, educate. The 3 E's for churches are educate, which we do well, but we don't do well the other 2. Engage, meaning having the people that are watching actually comment and actually participate. And then I think we're very bad at entertaining, because people, especially church people, think that that's evil somehow. But entertaining in this day and age, it means just how you come across. See how entertaining she is? Her hand motions, her eyes, her smile, her hair. They call it a hair light. Above her, you see that light on her hair, on her head. That's called a hair light, so that it creates separation between her and the background. Look at this wonderful image, this slide. Compare your slides to this one. Very engaging, very engaging. Now she's going to have it behind the scenes. Even some of this, that kind of like quirkiness, or like, oops, we had a problem. Isn't that fun? You're like, oh, they're just like me, right? It creates that, it makes everyone feel human to us. And she's showing there all the buttons of the Stream Deck that we use. I have one called X Keys. But even just having a camera that can highlight or that can focus on something else, let's say the communion table, or the communion cup, or the guitars that you use, or your dog. You know, one of the things that I've been hearing that people love to see on these Zoom calls and all this new Zoom world are pets. And so instead of hiding your animals, your pet, your dog, your cat, why don't you let them run around your church service? You think, oh, that's terrible. I would never do that in normal church. Yes, but this is not normal church. This is the 3 E's of the new church world: engage, entertain, and educate. And we do a good job of educating, hopefully, but we're very behind the scenes, or we're behind the bar, or behind whatever you call that. We're behind on on entertaining and on engaging. So we have to do a better job as church people and volunteers on that area. So she's engaging. The lighting is just amazing. Back to the Stream Deck, her t-shirt, her nails. Look at that. Even this, just the comments are there. Everything is intentional, because this is a different world that we're living in. And so I love live streaming pros. That's probably the that I would advise you to see the most. Let me see this one. This is maybe hopefully both of them. So this is once again Luria. She's now in a different environment. They moved recently from one house to another. All this, by the way, they do in their home. The first one was in their basement, and I think this one now they have two separate homes. And so this is her place, and then if he comes in, he's going to do that his show from his place. But that's just her home, somewhere in Oregon, and there he is. That's from his house. But look at the same thing. Look at the quality, the lighting. His is better than hers even, right? More clear. The close-up, his hair, his white, his beard is well trimmed. That microphone, it matches his headphones and his white glasses. It looks amazing. The Atari in the background. Don't think that's a mistake. All of that, his gaming chair, an amazing look, right? Someone 25, someone 14 will be like, oh, wow, that's just like my friends on Twitch. Whereas most church streams are looking so boring. Even us old people are like, man, I'm so tired of watching the same thing. Imagine your poor kids. I don't mean your 8-year-olds. I mean your 20-year-olds kids. Your 16, 22, 24-year-old young adults that didn't even go to church beforehand, now even less. But this is a side-by-side, they call it. Trig Media, we do this. It's not that difficult to do a side-by-side. Now you're like, well, how am I going to do that? It could be you and your co-pastor who are giving an update on the remodeled building. It could be you and your wife giving an update on what you're doing for a vacation and vacation ideas, staycation, Christmas holiday ideas. It could be a youth leader and that young man who is struggling with Zoom but is figuring out ways to get A's in the middle of this craziness. You can have a million ideas on how to do a side-by-side and use it effectively. This is another one. It's great. Twitter. Isn't that great? Imagine if you are engaging people on Twitter. Now you're like, well, my church doesn't use Twitter. You don't have to have your church use it. It might be that you go to Twitter and just look up a relevant topic. I mean, if you're into the Dodgers, you can just type in Dodgers. I mean, if you really want to go there, you can type the presidential debate 2020 hashtag and just read some of the things that people are dealing with, because guess what? The people in your church are reading Twitter. They're on Facebook. They're on Fox News, CNN, wherever they get their news. And so this may be a great way to engage the topics that people in your church are dealing with every day in their lives. Now you have to organize all this, right? These are just ideas. Now, she has a assistant back there. I forget her name. She's in the back. Kylie, I think is her name. So she's back there with a red hat, see? And she's pointing at her. See, all of that is just wonderful. She's not ignoring her, but yet she's not bringing her up front. She's got, I think, red hair, not a red hat. But her smile, Luria again, with the black hoodie and whatever, it says streamer on there, and go live, that t-shirt that we saw in the previous video. Even the branding, right? It says go live. Imagine all of your people that are online wearing your church colors, your church t-shirts. Branding is so powerful when it comes to the TV world. I know that you may be struggling with the whole TV marketing and media thing, but this is not going away, unfortunately, and we have to look at that. Even at the bottom, the name Sierra Star Ramon Perez, as a Latino, I'm like, oh, Perez, isn't that great? Immediate engagement. If you come in and you're a Latino and your church mostly it's white or African American, and you see a Hispanic sounding name, I'm going to be drawn to your church just by seeing the name of another fellow Latino. Ejnar Rees Hansen, I don't know if that's Indian, but let's say it is, or Irani, or maybe it's something like that. You're going to be drawn in just by seeing the name. And then the amounts, of course, you're like, wow, John Venturi must be loaded, right? $345. It doesn't have to be people's giving. It might be donations. It might just be stars. How many stars they're giving to the service? You know how people like your content? You may just want to have a number next to it, and we can do it at Trig Media, where you just simply count that Ramon Perez over the last month has given your church 5 stars or 10 stars. So this highlights engagement. Remember the 3 E's? Engagement, engagement, engagement. Entertaining. I mean, if you were to gauge this video that we're watching, is it engagement? Is it engaging? 10. Is it entertaining? 10. Is it educational? I can't hear it, but I've seen most of their videos and I can tell you 10, 10, 10. Now, look at your church service and grade your church service and be as harsh as you can be. Harsh isn't the right word. Be as, I don't know what the word is. Be as persuasive as possible so that you can improve. And then slowly, look, just even him. See, isn't he fun? I have no idea what he's saying, but he's just looking at the camera. He's engaging. All that we've said, it's engaging. Both of them, their smiles, their constant bantering back and forth. I know that church isn't like this, but can you apply even 10% of these skills? Imagine at the end of your service having the names of the people that, I don't know, that are on your church roster, of the kids that went to camp last year that you're praying for, of the high school graduates that had that weird graduation this year, of the kids this Christmas that need help, of the adults that are looking for work, or just simply the names of your church. I mean, if my name is Bruce Cameron, I'm like, hey, there I am. And then you're like, oh, Dave, oh, he's here too, Todd. It creates, what's that E? Engagement. So those are great ideas. I love what those 3 channels do. They really are very helpful. And these are the things that I and Trig Media has been at. We've been going at this for 5-6 years. I've been podcasting for about 15 years and live streaming for about 5-6 years. And this is what we do. We love to help nonprofits, churches, solopreneurs, speakers, life coaches, nutritionists, health and fitness people, therapists, counselors, educators, healers for a very low price. It's not that difficult. It's not that expensive. And we love to do it. It's what we love to do. And obviously for churches, it's a very, very effective way to increase engagement, to see people follow Jesus and to have their lives be transformed. But I think we have to move. We can't wait for this thing to end or for your church to open safely. You have to get going, because I've said it from the beginning, from March when I started with my online church services, where people were criticizing most of us by going online and people were waiting. And now here we are almost to November and we're still waiting. But because I had this background, I've been doing this for many years. And now Canela and I, our daughter and I, we have joined forces to create Trig Media here this year. We want to help you so that it's not just you, or it's not just the same old thing for the next 12 months. And you're going to see engagement go down. And you're already seeing it. Instead, we want to see engagement go up for you. And the offerings and the people's lives being changed in your new programs to actually have people sign on. And most of all, just have people be, as I said, just want to come back and watch your content. Your young people, especially, your older people, anyone, those in the middle that are there, but they're like, man, I'm getting tired of this thing. I mean, now we've been going at this now for, our church has been doing live now for a solid 7 months. And that's 7 months, Spanish and English. That's, let's say it's 4 weeks, four times a month. That's 4 times 7 is 28. In 2 languages, that's 56 services that we've done in 7 months. And if it's the same people, you think they're not bored of the same old thing? Of course they are, because we're not thinking production. We're thinking, let's go back. When we go back, and in the meantime, people are losing an opportunity to really be a difference maker. Now, the online world isn't the only thing you should be doing. Obviously, you still have your live events, and you call people, and you text people, and you have your Zoom stuff. Well, I guess that's online, but you still have your in-person stuff, right? But, let's be honest. Online is going to be 80 to 90% of your strategy for 2021. If you haven't woken up to that, then it's time to open the eyes of my heart, Lord, like the old song, right? It's time to open your eyes to this reality and to move forward as a church, as a nonprofit solopreneur, and to be honest about your business whether you are in the secular business world or in the church spiritual world, where we are trying to obviously help people follow Jesus. But we are in this together, and we're here for a reason. God meant for this to happen. I don't know how else to say it, because He's provided these tools, and you're still the same loving person that you've always been. You still have the same skills and passion. It's just you don't know now how to do this because these tools are foreign to you. But guess what? They're not foreign to me and to Trig Media and to many people out there that can help you. These people online now, they will charge you $10,000, $20,000 to do this for you, because this is what they do, and it's warranted. I would pay it because it's amazing stuff what they're doing, and their results will be incredible. But Trig Media will do this for much less, and we will be able to sit down with you and see what your needs are, and to provide a template so that you can then do this every week on your own. Or maybe you do want to use our studios with safe distancing and all that stuff, and we can then film your show at our Gozo studios here in Long Beach, California. Just simply send me an email, trig@davidtrig.com, and we can then get going. But if anything, I hope that this video can just help you kind of see where things are going, and really where things have been. It's just the church, we lag behind because we just do. So I hope that this video encourages to move forward in your mission. I am taking definitely heed to my own medicine, as they say, by applying these things in my church. But most of all, I want to help you, no matter who you are, to get moving with a new kind of engagement level, entertainment level, and educational level, to get your message out there and touch the world with your Gozo. Share this broadcast, subscribe to my channel, make sure that you come back here, leave me a like, and I will see you next time.